Welcome to this Planet Zoo video, where today we're going to be building a habitat for one of the new animals in the Americas pack, the bush dog. And I'm going to start with using some of the mesh pieces to create a viewing area for our guest. We're going to keep it quite simple with the mesh and the Indonesian wood pieces made to look like metal. We're going to come down diagonally to give it a different kind of shape, and then down straight where the main viewing area is going to be, like so. We're going to add a little bit of details now. And at the front here, we're going to separate the actual habitat barrier with a guest barrier and some foliage in between, and then these lovely rod pieces and some of the new pieces out of the Americas pack. And then it's quite easy to duplicate that over then, because we've got a one on the grid piece, which is the bottom plaster piece of the outer barrier. We can just select everything by dragging a box over it, and because it's on the grid, we can just duplicate everything like so, making it very easy to create a viewing area. And then we needed a backdrop for the viewing area. Now I used these, and these are on my Steamer Workshop page. The link is in the description. And then we went on to paths, and I wanted to create a custom path. So I separated these plaster pieces and then added off the grid plaster pieces onto an on the grid plaster piece to create a custom path. I can then easily, once again, like I did with the barriers, just duplicate it over like so, and then just lower it down just above the actual null path what we've put in. And then it was time to move on and build the all-important backstage area and hard shelter and extend this habitat even more to give our bush dogs a bit more space. And I did this simply by creating a custom wall. Now to create this custom wall, all I did was add some of the conservation wood pieces to an actual on the grid piece. In this instance, I've used a plaster piece. You can use whichever you want to create a custom wall. And you can see with the conservation wood pieces, I recolored two different wood pieces and then put them at different depths, so it creates kind of like a 3D kind of wall. It just sticks out a little bit more. I love using custom walls and custom paths. In pretty much all my build, everything is custom. It just looks a hell of a lot better. A little bit of extra time taken to concentrate on the details really makes any habitat stand out. I always say it, I always do, I know. So then it's quite easy because remember I've got these once again on an on the grid piece like I had with the paths and like I had with the barriers, so it's quite easy to duplicate over. Once the initial setup, the initial walls were in place, it was time to build a roof. And I've done this technique before, and it's kind of like the side panel of a building then extends onto the roof. I'm hoping you understand what I mean by actually watching the video. But yeah, that's the kind of vibe I've gone for. It's kind of like a modern theme, isn't it? I know I always create modern buildings in Planet Zoo. That's just the way my architectural brain works. Not that I'm an architect or anything. I just like, when I like building stuff, I like building it in modern vibe, and even mixing modern vibes with like authentic, original, rustic vibes, like mixing the two to kind of create like an industrial style. I love doing that as well. And I just think for this instance, because there were a lot of plaster pieces used initially with the barriers and with the floor, it just made sense to carry on that plaster theme throughout, and that created that modern theme along with the conservation wood pieces as well. It does actually create a modern theme, doesn't it? Now you see that sticky out a bit of plaster just painted in. I'm not painting anything. Put in is for the mulch. I'm going to put some mulch there, and I'm going to put a planter there, because I always say foliage and rock work in Planet Zoo is king. I like to add foliage on the outside and the inside of habitats, not just on the inside. That's why in our barrier, our guest barrier, in between the guest barrier and the habitat gap barrier, you will see the foliage, and also we're going to add some planters and stuff like that in and around the outside of the habitat. Remember, not just inside foliage, outside foliage counts as well. And I just added a trim to this because it didn't look structurally sound. It didn't look like it would work, or it looked a little bit unsafe or flimsy. So I wanted to kind of like corner the mesh in with these plaster pieces. So I just did this around the edge. I just used this off the grid plaster piece here. Really nice that we've got this. I used the same plaster piece for the barriers as well, as you can see, the same width, same height, so everything dimension wise really fits in. I can easily then duplicate that over to the other side, and we've got everything locked in and looking that it's safe and sound and functional. Once everything was in place, structural wise, it looks something a little like this. See that mulch in bottom right now is ready to put some foliage in. But this is how the roofs came out looking. I also recolored the roof, and then the backing looks like this. I just need to finish it off by adding some interior to the backstage area and to the hard shelter for our animals, and it gives them a little bit more space for the bush dog as well, because at the front was just nowhere near enough space for them. I think they require 500 meters squared space, the bush dog, so yeah, we need to create some more space. And at the back you can see me just kind of like planning out where I want to separate the backstage area to the actual hard shelter for the animals. I'm going to leave a gap in the middle, and I'm going to put a door frame here, and then I'm going to delete the door frame after I've put the habitat gate in. This is a good way of estimating your habitat gate. You don't want your habitat gate trapped in a corner, you want it in the center of somewhere like that. Then you just a matter of running null barriers around the edge, which I will show you soon. Just closed off that with the same wall, very easy to get a duplicate because we've already got a copy of it, because the walls we've been using anyway. And then we just need to add the path to the grid and then line the path on the inside of this habitat now, so leading all the way up to the gate. Of course, make sure your gate is attached like you see me doing here. Use your null paths, and then I'm going to add some facilities, because why not? I might have got the room for it, so I might as well. So in goes the keeper zone and a trade centre. Make sure our paths look good, which they do, and then I can just recover the area. Now I know that all the paths are connected apart from that left path, but we'll connect that in a minute. And I wanted a different floor anyway. I wanted a wood floor going throughout here, so it made sense to have a quick look. And then just adding the door frames and building up and trapping those facilities in, making sure there's no gaps. Now it's time to build the inside up. Remember, this is the backstage area. We're going to corner off the hard shell to the backstage area with some more mesh pieces, and then add all of the props that you would find in a backstage area. Let's add some more props on this side, and if you are stuck for ideas for props for backstage areas, there's loads on my Steam Workshop page. Go and have a look. And for the inside area for the guest, I added some more props and some more education points, and added this skirting around the edge. And on the outside, I added some education points as well, of course, and some fallen leaf litter for realism. And if you are wondering how the habitat gate looks, you can see where the null barriers have been wrapped around the outside of the actual habitat and building, and then they come into the building and join onto the habitat gate where we put it in position. And there we go, the habitat is complete. Now let me take you through some of the things you might have missed or might have not included in that video. Our front planter is in with the leaf litter around the edge. I've really got a habit of putting leaf litter around the edges of planters now, just for the realism aspects. With the foliage, I kept it very, very simple. You can see I've just layered some different coloured foliages together, and has included this log as well, which is by ZHS Plays on the Steam Workshop page. If something's on the Steam Workshop page that's already been built what you want, then use it. That's what it's on the Steam Workshop page for, right? I did add a viewing area here for guests, and it is one-way glass, so it adds a little bit more privacy for the animals. And then I added this door in this doorway. I love this door, by the way. And speaking of doors, habitat door's just there, but you've already seen that. I actually added this door. Now this door just acts as a gateway through for our zookeepers to get into the actual habitat to clean it, because they can't get through this hole because it's just not big enough. It's made for the animals. And by the way, talking of animals, how bloody adorable are these bush dogs? All that's left to do is increase the enrichment items in the habitat for the bush dogs. So I'm just going to add some stuff now, and I'm going to just show you a little trick here. I like to overlap the inside and outside of the habitat, the viewing area, to the actual enclosure, just with these beddings. Again, just adds a bit more realism, but of course they're going to use the actual beds to sleep in as well. Obviously make sure they've always got water and food, no matter what animal you were building for. I like to put these right next to the habitat gate. And then that is it. That concludes the video and finishes off this build. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please hit a like button. And in the comment section below now, let me know. I want to know from a viewer's point of view what habitat you want to see next. Or do you want to see a tutorial video next? I'm struggling with ideas here. I want to know what you want to see as a viewer. Do you want to see me build something for one of the new animals? If you do, name which animal in the comment section below. Or if you want to see a tutorial, if you're stuck doing something and I've not already made a tutorial about it in Planet Zoo, then hit me up in the comment section below. I'll respond to you, and if you do give me an idea for a new video, I'll be sure to honour you and shout you out in the new video. Anyway, my name is Adam. If you're new to my Planet Zoo videos, then please subscribe for more viewing of Planet zoo videos. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next Planet Zoo video.